What roles do you have in your company, and why is it important to structure it in a certain way? What's going on, guys? My name is Paul August. So I want to talk to you guys about the roles of my company in terms of field operation. Now, whether your company is small or you have a large company, it's important that you start with the end in mind. Where do you want to be in a few years? When your company's all said and done, when you have the proper people in the right seats, where are you? What does your company look like? Because of my background, I've seen how military chain of command works so well. I structured my company in a military sense. And if you're familiar with it, you'll know that you have your company, and then you have your first sergeant and company commander who work together for that company. And the company gets broken down into smaller pieces. They have platoons. Now, each platoon has a platoon sergeant, and each squad in that platoon, so there's usually 4 squads in a platoon, each squad has a squad leader. So that's the way I structured my company. Because we're servicing such a large area, I did a 1-to-5 ratio. So basically, for every 5 team members that we have one, we call them senior partner, which is basically a squad leader, where everyone in that squad would report to. Then we have our field supervisor, who's basically a platoon leader. They're getting all the information from the squad leader and disseminating it up to higher command. So how does it look like in the cleaning sense? Our senior partners, who are in charge of the 5 people under them, still have a regular schedule. Now, one of the things that they do is they train new trainees when they come on. So the trainees fall directly under them, and they train them according to our training manual. So what we tried to do is eliminate how many times every single team member is calling the office to not tie up these lines. Yes, we do have a dedicated line for team members to call the office, but if people are calling constantly, that would just flood our office, and we would have to have more people in the office. That senior partner is also in charge of doing quarterly reviews on every single person in their team to make sure that they're in accordance with the company policies, and they also have the ability to do inspections, although inspections is not their primary thing. The person that's in charge of inspections is the field supervisor. Now, the field supervisor does not have their own schedule. They oversee the day-to-day field operations in our company. They make supplies, they top up supplies, and bring supplies to our refill locations as well. One of the key roles that they have is doing the inspections on a day-to-day basis. Our field supervisor is required to do 25% of inspections every single week. 25%. So no matter what's going on, they have to make that time to meet the 25%. They have a little bit more authority as well. They're in charge of doing the quarterly reviews on the senior partners, and they're in charge of coordinating events, company outings, and such. Now, if for some reason a team member is not working out, they can consult the office manager and make a decision to terminate someone. If the office manager is not available, they can terminate someone by themselves. But it's asked that whenever the office manager is available, that they communicate that with the office manager. Now, when someone calls out, the field supervisor may or may not jump in to fill in that house. If we can't get somebody else on another team to fill that house, the field supervisor will jump in and take care of that house. So they almost act as a floater as well. Another crucial job of the field supervisor is to handle client complaints. If a client calls to complain, now our client concierge team tries to handle a lot of things as best as they can. However, it's that job of the field supervisor to speak to that client as well to make sure that there's no breakdown in the system, because they're in charge directly of overseeing the whole field operations. It's important that they're tracking who's making mistakes that are common. The field supervisor has the ability to issue partial refunds and also follow our come back and clean policy, which states that we'll come back within 24 hours. I believe it's actually 48 hours now and clean. And if you're not satisfied, we'll send a competitor of your choice, it has to be a professional competitor, to come in and clean your house for you. So the field supervisor has that authority to make that decision 100%. They're also allowed to buy supplies and equipment as needed, but they do have a budget where if they exceed that budget, they have to speak to the operations manager and get that cleared. So why was it important to set these roles? One thing that I wanted to do as an owner of Homeless Cleaning was make sure I give myself, my family, freedom of location. So the operations manager or the office manager position doesn't necessarily need someone to be there on a day-to-day basis. From recruiting and hiring, we can do remotely from any location. So if we decide to promote somebody to that position down the road, that's fine. But if we don't decide to promote somebody immediately, we have freedom of location because we don't necessarily need to be in an office. The field supervisor takes care of most of the things in the office. They prepare the package for new hires and all the equipment for the new hires as well. I urge you, no matter where you are in your company, start with the end in mind and decide how you want to structure your company. All right, guys, my name is Paul August. Again, take care, stay blessed.